Hello, this is Mr. Miller and welcome to video 3B. In this video, we're going to see how we can use backtracking to solve equations. We're going to do 5 examples very quickly that illustrate 5 different types of problems we can come across. So here's the first one. We're going to solve this first equation by backtracking. Alright, so the first step when using backtracking is to draw a T-chart, kind of like this. Okay, this is how we're going to show our work. And on the left side, we're going to interpret what the equation is saying. So we always start with x. I'm going to write x here. That's the unknown number we're looking for. So the equation says whatever this number x is, we're multiplying it by 2. So I'm going to put times 2. And then we're going to add 17. And we're supposed to get 35 equals 35. So on the left side, we're just writing the steps of the equation, and we need an order of operations to do that. Multiplication comes first, so we're multiplying by 2 first, and then adding 17 in this case. All right, so we're going to undo that. Okay, so we're going to start with 35. We're going to subtract 17. And instead of multiplying by 2, we're going to divide by 2. We're going to undo all of the steps. So on the right side, I'm going to show the inverse operations. Start with 35, subtract 17, you get 18. Divide by 2, you get 9. And that's what we're starting with. So we get the answer that x equals 9. All right, let's try this one. Okay, start with a T-chart. Put our x here, and what are we doing to it? Well, this equation says we're dividing by 4, x over 4. That means the first thing is division. Then we're subtracting 31, and we're supposed to be getting 72. Okay, so we're going to start with 72 and undo the steps. We're going to start with 72, we're going to undo subtracting 31 by adding 31. And then we're going to undo dividing by 4 by multiplying by 4. And we should be back with what we started with. So if you do that one step at a time, 72 plus 31 times 4, you get 412. Here's our third example. This one has some parentheses. It's a little bit different than the other two. If I put in a number for x, because of the parentheses, the first thing we're going to do is subtract 15. So let's start drawing our T-chart. Let's putting x here. And because of the order of operations, the first thing is subtracting 15. All right, parentheses come first. Then, whatever that is, we're multiplying by 2. Times 2 equals 26. So we're going to do 26 divided by 2. And then we're going to add 15. And we get the solution. So the solution to this one is 28. So we get x equals 28. So if you can interpret the equation, you're going to be fine using backtracking. And that's why we practice. Make sure everyone can interpret these correctly. All right, in our fourth example, we have to do the numerator first. This division bar is like a grouping symbol. If I put in a number for x, we got to subtract 13 first and then divide the result by 4. Okay, so that guides us in how to interpret it. We're going to start with x, subtract 13. We're going to divide by 4, and we should end up with 68. So start with 68. Let's undo the steps. We're going to multiply by 4. We're going to add 13. And when we do that, we're back where we started. And you should get 285 if you do that. Okay, those were 4 different kinds of problems. But those are kind of like the 4 typical ones we need to do. Alright, one last thing. Backtracking works great. And people usually remember it for a long time, how to do it. There's one problem we have to be kind of careful with. And the bottom line is when we have an equation where the x part's being subtracted, we have to think of the negative going with the 4. It doesn't go with the 90. 90 is not being subtracted. 4x is being subtracted. So think of the negative going with the 4. And the reason why we can do this is we can always change subtraction to adding the opposite of something. I could rewrite this equation so it's 90 plus a negative 4x equals 22. Alright, and that's why I said, remember the negative kind of goes with the 4, now with the 90. And now we can backtrack this as usual. Start with x. X is right here. The first thing we're doing is multiplying by negative 4. So we're timesing by negative 4. So that should be multiplication. We're adding 90. 90 is being added to negative 4x. And it equals 22. So we're going to do 22 minus 90 divided by negative 4. And when we do that, you get 17. X equals 17 is the solution. Okay, well, it's a lot of new stuff probably for you, but I hope at least you understand how we show our work for backtracking. The left side is interpreting the equation, the right side is undoing the steps. Alright, and with practice, you'll have this in no time. Good luck.